First of all, my thing is this, right? Anybody who stood there, took on the brunt to help others, and now is dealing with a debilitating disease, we don't need to have a hearing for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't need to have a hearing for it. Psychologically, it needs to be like, these people helped us with one of the most traumatic moments in our country's history. Let's help them. We don't need it's like, how much do y'all need? We'll take care of the families. Yeah. Like, we got it.
I mean, that's what theoretically speaking is what it is, but politics never works that way. That's why it's called politics. It's not called common sense. Like, if it's called common sense, it'd be a lot easier here. But unfortunately, one man's common sense does not make sense to the other man's. I don't know. But this is exactly what needed to happen. Yeah. Somebody needed to sit down in front of Congress and say, you're being a bunch of fucking assholes.
Right.
These are people that, and this is not a New York, I'm going to quote Jon Stewart right now. This is not a New York problem. This is an American problem. These people came out, put their lives at risk for Americans, for us, for everybody here, because we were attacked as a people, as a culture, right, and for everything we stood for.
Right. This was a premeditated attack, and I don't want to hear any conspiracy theories in the comments talking about 9/11 was a hack. I don't want to hear about that. The problem is that this was an attack on the country, and these first responders need the proper care. You got dudes walking around with multiple different types of cancer, a bunch of diseases and stuff like that. This shouldn't even be up for a debate. Help them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Like it's.
This still has to, and the sad thing about it is, this still has to pass through the House and the Senate, which it should, and then it's going to be signed by President, and then if so, after that, it's going to be signed by President Trump into making it law. I hope that all happens. I don't see why it would not happen. You know what I mean? I don't see why it would not happen.
Well, that's like I said. That's why it's called politics. There's a slew of things that it has to get through. A lot of it we don't even know. A lot of it may not even have anything to do with the first responders. It might be a lobbyist doesn't want this happen because part of the bill affects this company negatively, and they're going to vie to try to get it changed. Something along those lines. Like I said, there is 1,000,001 things that go into it.
When it comes to helping those that have helped serve this country, and whether anybody likes it or not, anybody that has ever helped or served this country, they need to get first dibs on everything, and that's including first responders as well, especially for something as catastrophic as 9/11. There should not be no debating. There should be no back and forth. And what's crazy about it is they should have moved on it anyway. Like, I remember McConnell was like, I don't know why he's getting bent out of shape, and Jon Stewart's response was, I'm not getting bent out of shape for me. I'm getting bent out of shape for them because they shouldn't be treated like this and be going through hearings like this.
Yeah,
basically in a nutshell was what he was saying. I'm paraphrasing what he was saying, but that's basically in his mind. He was using himself as a vessel to speak up for those who couldn't speak up for themselves, who were too sick to speak up for themselves. That's what his psychological mind was thinking.
And that's what democracy is supposed to be. Democracy is supposed to be, we have representatives that are supposed to do that for us.
Right.
And when you have representatives that no longer are willing to speak for the people they represent, you don't have a democracy anymore. I don't know what you have, but it's not a democracy.
Yeah, you don't.
Like it's a shame we had to come to this point, but no matter what your personal feelings are against first responders or anybody in those fields, they need to be taken care of because they're going out of their way to take care of you.
There shouldn't be no back and forth complaining about this and that. They're doing a job that, truth be told, nobody wants to say it. Some people are scared to put their life on the line.
I wouldn't
for a bunch of other strangers. I wouldn't. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Like, I respect them greatly, but I respect them because I would not do it.
Right. They're doing stuff, and they got guts and cojones to go out there and do what they're doing, and knowing the risk involved. I don't think I'd be comfortable doing that. I want to come back and see my family. I want to be in the best health. Sorry if it sounds selfish, but I don't think me or Kraz would have the stomach to do that. I wouldn't.
Nope. Which is why we got to take care of the people who would.
Right.
Because if we stop taking care of them, are you going to do it? That's me playing at a general.
I'll answer that for you. Some of them are not. No. I'm not saying everybody is bad. Don't get me wrong. We're not trying to make this a doom and gloom situation, but we are going to be real on here. Some of y'all would. We appreciate that. Some of y'all would not. And don't sit over there. Yeah, most people
Most
would
people
not.
would not, right?
Absolutely.
Like, it just goes to show, even Congress apparently would not, because a first responder puts other people in front of themselves, right?
Right.
And right now, I don't know what Congress is putting in front of them,
But here's the problem.
But it wasn't them.
But here's the problem. Nobody on that. There's very few people in Congress that would act or have the mindset of a first responder to even feel the apathy to make that move.
Oh yeah. Well, now we're getting to hyperbole, I guess. Now we're just trying to now we're getting into politics. It's a dangerous field.
I'm just saying. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
you're
one
right.
of those situations. At the end of the day, you have to look out for the people, because at the end of the day, that's what makes this country go round. It's the people. It's not the
You're
the
right.
government or politics. I tell people all the time. There's no point of debating about politics. That's why on this show we stopped. I literally put a halt to stop talking. I'm kind of breaking the fourth wall, but.
We're watching ourselves watching us.
It's one of those situations where I personally made a move to stop talking about politics for this reason. We sit over here, we pick a side, we choose a side. One side's going to ignore what you stand for. The other side is going to exploit what you stand for. And depending on the circumstance at hand, the only person that is getting played is the citizen.
The only person who suffers out of this, right?
Right.
Well, it's interesting. You watch TED Talks before, right?
Yeah, I've seen a couple.
Okay, so there's a TED. You know who George Takei is, right?
Refresh my memory.
Oh my, that guy.
Oh, yeah. I
Star
know
Trek
exactly
guy?
what you're talking about. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So he had a TED Talk that was really interesting. I didn't know this. So everyone knows World War II, we had Japanese American intern camps. Like we would arrest Japanese Americans during World War II, and we would ship them off to internment camps. They weren't concentration camps, but they were internment camps. And then the American government confiscated everything. They confiscated their homes, anything they could, equities, whatever the word I'm looking for is. And they lived in these internment camps for X amount of years. I forgot what the actual time frame is. But when they were released, they were not given their property back. They were given a one-way ticket to anywhere in the U.S. That was their compensation. Fun fact, or maybe less fun in this case, George Takei grew up in a Japanese-American internment camp. His family was sent there when he was 2 years old. He said he remembered, he found it perfectly normal to have twice daily bunk examinations, where they pull everybody out, they check them for paraphernalia, check their bunks. He thought it was perfectly normal to take mass showers in groups with other strangers, or when you go out to play, having spotlights follow you all over the place. So the point of this, because there's a point, is he had one line in this TED Talk that was amazing. So at the end of this, of course, he and his family were shipped out. I think they chose San Francisco. And his father, his mother, everyone had to start over with nothing. They had to start over from the beginning. And I remember him in the TED Talk. He says he asked his father, "Dad, why do you still love this country so much?" Because his dad still does. Like, why do you still love a country that betrayed you, essentially, just for the fact that you are the same skin as this people who were attacking us? And he said, "Son, a democracy is only as good as the people that make it up. It is never good. It is never bad. It is only ever made up of the people there." And at that moment, the people were scared of Japanese, and and that is the decisions they made. So I always say, like, to comment on what you're saying about it's about the people, and it should always be about the people. The people make up the democracy. The people, whatever the people value, the government would value or should value. And if they don't, like we've seen with, the Florida shootings and whatnot,
Right.
people make it known what they value. So right now Jon Stewart told him that we value our first responders and they should be taken care of. So we should be shown the same courtesy they gave us.
All right, absolutely. So that bill has been passed through a certain committee. I think it's a judicial committee that's been passed through, if I'm not mistaken. And then it will go through the House and the Senate. And if that passes, it will go and be signed by President Trump into law. So hopefully that happens. Shout outs to all of the first responders on 9/11,
and
living and passed on, their families. We definitely appreciate the sacrifice and the privileges that we live with every single day, thanks to your sacrifice and the sacrifice of many other people. Those are in the military as well. We shout outs to you guys as well, because you guys deserve first dibs on everything. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I definitely agree.
And to Jon Stewart for
absolutely big ups to Jon Stewart for standing in the gap. Who couldn't stand up for themselves. So it was definitely. I mean, I found a new respect for Jon Stewart.
Absolutely,
I've never seen him in this light ever before. That's been publicly addressed to me. So when I saw this, I was like, wow. Because before that,
I'm going to watch that speech again.
Yeah, I mean, I encourage her. I mean, I have to look at his full speech. Even I have to look at his full speech because I want to see it. I encourage everybody to look at that full speech.
It's a 9-minute speech.
9-minute speech, but powerful 9 minutes, bro.
Oh my God!
I'm definitely going to.
I'm definitely going to. The entire chamber has a standing ovation. Congress looked dumbfounded because they should be. Sorry, now I'm getting personal. All right, now I'm getting heated.
Now, I wanted to bring up. Speaking of more legislature. New York legislature passes bill that would expunge convictions on the lower level for marijuana offenders. Here are my thoughts on it, right? Let's